I find it really important in the morning to have a little bit of time by myself in order to get centered and really clear and prepared on what I need to get done throughout the workday in order to be productive and focused. And a lot of these routines have actually changed a little bit for myself in the past, I would say 6 to 12 months, because I started dating my boyfriend and I moved in with my boyfriend as well. So there is something to be said about, changing routines and the okayness of routines changing. So in today's video, I want to share a couple of these practices with you in order to inspire you to create a morning routine for yourself, because I think this is honestly one of the most important things that you can do in order to sustain your performance, feel centered, feel happy, and feel really good about what you need to get done during the workday, while also feeling really healthy and happy. So I would say, let's jump into today's video. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer, and I am really excited to talk with you today about morning routines. Morning routines are so important for me. I've been establishing my own morning routine, I would say, for the last 4.5 years, because I burned out in the summer of 2018, and that was the very first time when I realized, hey, it's actually super important to have a morning routine in place and not just run into the day with like 180, just doing emails and doing things without really being focused on what actually needs to get done. So 4.5 years of different morning routines, and honestly, my morning routine has changed a little bit since I started dating my boyfriend. So it was a really good time for me to sit down and get really clear on what am I actually currently doing in order to center within myself and still stay productive throughout the course of my workday. If you're watching this video right now and you have kids at home and you find it really difficult to have an established morning routine because it might get super busy and kind of chaotic and crazy in the mornings, then I still highly encourage you to think about just 1 or 2 things that you can do maybe after you dropped your kids off or after you got into your office in order to recenter yourself. It can be as little as 5 to 10 minutes where you're taking a deep breath and maybe do something for yourself, no matter if it is having a cup of coffee or just writing down a couple of things that you want to get accomplished for the rest of the day. This can be a game changer, honestly, if you do that for just 5 or 10 minutes. And I know it sounds super simple, but if it would be simple, everyone would do it, and we wouldn't be sitting here right now talking about it, right? So really think about your morning routine and make sure that you are taking some time for yourself. As I mentioned, my morning routine has changed quite a bit over the last 6 to 12 months because I started dating my boyfriend and I also moved in with him a couple of months ago. And so I find it really difficult, honestly, to create a new morning routine and to stay true to myself with the things that I need in order to really feel my best self before I start my work day. So I'm trying to be really intentional about it. And one thing that I want to say is that it is absolutely okay and absolutely normal that your morning routines change over the course of time, because there are obviously external factors that are influencing our behaviors, and there's also internal factors that are influencing our behavior. So for example, the last 2 years, it's been super important for me to journal every single morning before I started my day, because I was going through a heartbreak and I was trying to heal my heart. And so I spent a lot of time just on self-reflection and making sure that I feel less anxious and more emotionally sane before I started my workday. That's what I really needed during those 2 years. And now it's different. Now I feel more focused and stronger, and yeah, I don't really need that journaling practice as much anymore, which doesn't mean that I don't love journaling still, but I just do it in different ways. I don't do it every single morning for an hour, which I did before. Now I just kind of do it when I have the time and when I feel like I need some time to reflect on the things that have happened to me, okay? So important for you to take away, morning routines can absolutely change. You don't have to be super rigid and you don't have to do everything exactly the same over the course of your lifetime. It can obviously change as you are changing your behaviors, as you are changing, your outlook on things, and also the things that are important for you and that you need in this moment, okay? So I would say, without further ado, now let's take a look at a couple of the things that I do every single morning in order to set myself up for success. first thing that I do every single morning is making my bed as soon as I get out of bed. This is super important for me, and it's still something that I'm doing even with my boyfriend, because it is such a simple, small thing, but it helps me to create some structure and discipline in my life right when I get out of bed. And because I'm working from home, I find it super, super important for things to be neat and clean and organized, because it just helps my brain in a way to be focused on the other things, right? Because otherwise I feel like there's too many other distractions going on in the background of my head, because I feel like I need to do my bed and I need to do the dishes. So honestly, what I spend my time on in the morning, first thing when I get out of bed, is usually just making sure that everything is clean and tidied up. So I'm making my bed, I might go downstairs and I might do the dishes or whatever kind of needs to be done in order for things to be in the place that I want things to be in the place of. And that's super important for me. So yeah, so that's the first thing that I do. The second thing that I do every single morning is I'm making myself a big warm glass of lemon water, which is super important for me to get hydrated in the morning, especially maybe after getting a little bit dehydrated over the course of the night. I live in the mountains and in 6,500 feet elevation, so it is a little bit drier climate here, and I also try to drink not as much in the evenings, because otherwise I need to get up and go to the bathroom, which obviously interrupts my sleep, which is not so good for me. And so I'm really trying to be super, super hydrated in the morning. So I usually make myself that lemon water, and then I also make myself at the moment a cup of coffee and a big jug of tea as well. So I'm really drinking all the fluids in the morning, and I usually prepare all of these different things right away when I get up in order to start kind of drinking and getting all of these fluids into my body. And that just helps me to wake up. It feels good because the lemon water is warm, it's not cold, so it just kind of wakes me up and it helps me to feel good about myself. The next thing that I do, if I have time, is to take my little Kobe, my little dog, for a walk, which is super, super nice. I like to move my body in the morning, and I also really like to get some fresh air in the morning. There's a lot of scientific research that says that as soon as you expose your body to natural daylight, it signals to your system to produce all of the different hormones that you need in order to be alert during the day, and it obviously also sets up your circadian rhythm for success, so that your body knows, hey, we're actually waking up, we're starting the day, and then, you know, over the course of the next few hours, and then 9 to 12 hours, it produces all of the different hormones you need at the specific times of the day, right? So I really like to do that if I have time, but I don't currently always have the time. Totally transparent with you, I don't always have the time at the moment to take Kobe for a walk, but if I can do it and can squeeze it in, I really like to start my day that way. The next thing that I do is I get ready for the day. So I usually go into the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I get ready, like no matter if I take a shower or I just wash my face and, you know, get my hair ready, put on makeup. Because, you know, I think there was a time when I didn't do that, and honestly at the moment I'm so busy with work that it is really helpful for me to just kind of feel ready. I obviously have meetings with different clients and I have workshops as well, so it's just helpful for me to obviously sit there and be ready and look professional. But at the same time, it is also really important for me because it just gives me a different feeling about myself. Obviously, if I'm just slouching around in my pajamas and in my slippers, that's not really the way of how I want to be professional and how I want to show up with people. So it is really important for me that I get ready and that I look a certain way, because it just makes me feel good about myself. So that's the next step that I do in the morning, and that sometimes takes me, you know, between 10 minutes to maybe even 45 minutes or an hour, depending on if I'm taking a shower and washing my hair. But it's all about planning, right? So if I, for example, know that the next day I have a 9 a.m. workshop, I usually try obviously to shower in the evening and wash my hair, so I have less time to spend on that in the morning. And then once I am ready in the bathroom, I go into the kitchen again and then I prepare a breakfast. And I've been trying to be really good about just listening to my body if I'm actually hungry or not. So I think in the past I would just make myself a pretty big bowl of my oats and my fruit, and then I would just eat it. But currently I've been trying to be a lot better about just listening to my body and what I need. So sometimes I may make my breakfast right away, but I'm not going to eat it until 1 or 2 hours later, until I actually feel hungry. And sometimes if I know I have a super busy day ahead and I just want to make sure that I'm getting food into me, because sometimes then I'm in back-to-back meetings and I won't be able to have time to eat, then I obviously eat beforehand, because I don't want to be in a meeting stuck with a growling stomach and just, you know, wanting to have food but not having the time to do it. So making breakfast is kind of the next step. The next thing that I do in the morning, if I have the time to do it, is to do a 10-minute workout video. And this is something super important for me, because exercise is really important for me. And currently, in the last few weeks, I've not been super good about finding time to exercise, because I've been traveling, I've been super busy with work, and I was also sick a few times, so I felt like I didn't really have the energy, or I wanted to protect my immune system. Long story short, I've been not super happy about my exercise routine, so I'm really trying to incorporate that again, and doing this like 10-minute workout video on YouTube has been such a game changer for me, because 10 minutes go by so quickly and it's usually kind of easy to integrate that. So I try to do that either in the morning during my morning routine, and if I don't have the time to do it, then I'll try to do it in the evenings. But this is a way for me to obviously move my body and again feel good about myself. And I honestly feel like the more I spend time on moving my body in the mornings, the more focused and productive I feel over the course of the day. So it's been really a big important thing for me. And then once I have been kind of getting all of these things done, right? Making my bed, making sure my house looks in order, making all of my fluids to drink, making my breakfast, getting ready myself, taking Kobe for a walk, or doing a little exercise video, then I usually go into my office, I sit down and I start my day. Before I start my work day, I'm actually getting really clear on the things that I need to get done. And what that entails is I usually check my inbox. I'm a zero inbox person, so I usually check my inbox. I delete all of the emails that I don't need. I leave the emails in my inbox that I need to action on, but I don't have the time to do that maybe in that moment. And then I look into my calendar and I make sure that I know how my day is going to be structured, right? Do I have a workshop? Am I going to record videos? Do I have meetings with potential clients? All of these different things are important for me, and I'm taking them into consideration before I start my workday. So that is so important again for me, because I feel like if I'm starting my day in a meeting with all of these other things still lingering, then I don't really feel good about myself. So I know for a fact that in order to be productive and focused for the course of the day, I need to have checked my inbox. I need to have deleted all of the emails that are not important. Again, to just have this kind of clear, empty space for me to start my day. And it's really for me all about clutter and decluttering, right? So if I see my inbox and there's like 20 emails in my inbox, it makes me feel kind of overwhelmed. And so I like to go through my inbox first thing in the morning, delete all the things that I don't need, action on the quick things that maybe I can action on right away, and then leave the other things that are left behind in my inbox to action on throughout the course of the day. Okay, so that's what I do, and then I look into my calendar, set myself up for success, plan my day ahead, plan when do I have a lunch break, think about what do I want to do in the evening after I finish my work day. So all of these different things are on my calendar. So I literally live in my inbox and my calendar, because that really helps me to be super productive for the rest of the day. And then the last thing that I do in order to get really clear and productive on the things that I want to do is to take my peak performance planner into my hand, and I write down 3 things that I feel grateful for, and then I plan 3 to 5 important tasks that I need to perform throughout the course of that specific day. And again, that helps me to just stay true to what I need to get done, because sometimes, especially at the moment when I'm feeling so stressed and so busy, I can lose sight of things as well, right? And I think then it's super easy to get distracted with people pinging you and emails and meetings, and you don't really feel like you feel accomplished at the end of the day because you did really work on the things that you actually found important for yourself. So getting that clarity and that vision is super important for me, which is obviously one of the reasons why I created the Peak Performance Planner in the first place, because I know how important it is and how much of a game changer it is when I am starting my day that way. Those are the things that help me to stay super productive for the course of the day and stay focused. I really need that time in the morning. Like I said to you earlier, sometimes at the moment I've been super busy, and so then it can be a little bit more difficult to do all of these different things. But even if it is just my lemon water, which I always do, I always wear lemon water, no matter if I'm traveling, no matter if I am rushing around because I don't have a lot of time, I always get my lemon water. I usually always get my tea as well, maybe my coffee. And then I always check my inbox and my calendar. Those are the two kind of non-negotiables that I need to get done, and I think that is an important highlight to say here as well, because I think sometimes we force ourselves to do these things and then that stresses us as well, which obviously shouldn't be the goal of your morning routine. So make sure that you have maybe a long list of things that you're doing when you have the time, and then a really short list of things that are like your non-negotiables that you need in order to stay sane, feel centered, and then obviously feel productive and focused for the rest of the day. And here's another tip. If you feel like you don't really have the time one day in the morning to do that, then do it 2 hours later. Maybe you have to jump right into a meeting and then it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Then take the time then, right? It doesn't mean that if you haven't been able to do it at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, then your whole day is out of the window, but you can always recenter. You can always take these few minutes in order to get really clear on what you actually need to get done. I think it is really easy to find these excuses and think, didn't have the time this morning, not gonna do it for the rest of the day, and then we just kind of get into this kind of crazy stressed mode. It is always available to you, and I think this is something that we oftentimes forget. So here's the friendly reminder that you have that time, and I encourage you to take that time because it makes all the difference in the world to actually feel more productive and more focused and less anxious and less stressed over the course of the day. So that's my morning routine. I'm super curious to hear what you do every single morning in order to take care of yourself. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you're doing. And if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up, and obviously if you subscribe to my channel. And I would say I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, have a nice rest of your day, and talk to you really soon.